Hey folks, it's Dr. Bill. So with this video, I wanted to kill two birds with one stone. This is a correctly written version of our third grade short constructed sentence that was from the spring 2025 test. Now, um, what I want to show you is that in order to get the point, the capitalization, although it's important, it does not lose the point. So regardless of proper nouns, capitals, proper nouns, the first word, the titles, person's name, all of that doesn't matter on a short constructed revising question slash prompt. Usage, the subject and the predicate does matter how it's being used. Uh, so that part has to stay intact in terms of the content in order to get the point. So this video I'm going to show you, uh, along with another mini lesson, is going to be teaching the importance of that. Punctuation, although it's important, it does not matter. Spelling, as long as it's I, as long as it's not I indecipherable or I illegible or I incoherent, as long as you can understand what they were trying to say, then they get the point. So the original sentence, just as a reminder, was this. My teacher's name was is Mrs. Sanchez, and Mrs. Sanchez is nice. So the repetition needed to be removed. So here's what I did. The last response that I showed you, it said, it is nice to have he or her. Well, if all you do is get rid of have he or her, that content that wasn't in the original sentence, and move nice in front of teacher, here's how it would sound. Shift, capital, underline the first word. My nice teacher, apostrophe S, singular possessive, name, the subject, is, shift, size, shape, underline, capital, Mrs., period, her title, shift, size, shape, capital, her last name, period. This response would have earned a point even without the period, the capital at the beginning of the sentence, and her name capitalized. It didn't even matter if they put the apostrophe or not. So that is an important thing to consider when you're doing the short constructed response with multiple choice. All of this is important because the answer you're going to pick has to be in line with what um, typical rules are, because they're not going to give your students an answer with spelling mistakes and capitalization mistakes, punctuation, and have it be a correct answer. So the killing two birds with one stone, the second part of this is that I noticed not in just the four responses that got zeros, but in the four responses that received a point as well. There was a teachable moment of instruction, or because almost all of the students made this same mistake, this is something that you might have your students do. Divide a sheet of paper into four sections, equal sections, and you can practice this with any noun, any person or a place or a thing. Typically, it works with a person the most. So it would be a teachable moment of um, intervention because so many students are making the same mistake. So option one, singular, teacher. T-E-A-C-H-E-R. Option 2, singular possessive. T-E-A-C-H-E-R apostrophe S. This is what it was supposed to have been. So that's why I put the star next to it. And your students should have known if they don't say something like apostrophe S or toss an imaginary ball like I teach people in my trainings, they will get this third one and sometimes this fourth one. Number 3, plural. Teachers. T-E-A-C-H-E-R-S. And the last one, plural possessive. Teachers, apostrophe means belongs to the teachers. Okay. So you can say, uh, this thing belongs to the teachers, or it is the teacher's apostrophe thing. Same thing with singular and singular possessive. That belongs to my teacher, or it's the teacher's thing that is owned or possessed. So think of any noun and try that with your kids. Um, have them divided into 4 sections and write singular, singular possessive, plural, plural possessive, and try it with different ones. And then they can post it on the classroom wall and see each other's answers. And you can literally give a spelling test where you do this. Watch, I'm gonna say number 1, teacher, and so they know it's singular. Number 2, teacher, singular, possessive. And I apologize for my fingers. I had just made some barbecue chicken a few minutes ago and I was hungry, so I had to take a break. Teacher, apostrophe S, singular possessive. If you say that, your students will know what that's going to look like, sound like, and be written like. Number 3, teachers, and you move your fingers like this for plural. And number 4, you'll say teachers, and then you toss your imaginary ball up in the air, means it belongs to teachers, plural, possessive. So I hope that you like these 2 little lessons. Try some with your kids. Um, but for most of you in secondary, you don't have time to teach a lot of long, drawn out skills, but you do need to take time when you're noticing life is what happens to you when you're on your way to do something else. So when you're noticing that too many kids are making the same mistakes when you're working on a different skill, just do what I call a quick teachable moment of instruction. If there's a few kids, or do something with the whole class and more in depth called teachable moment of intervention. If there's a lot of kids making that same mistake, they share, like, tag this video, no matter which means of social media that you're watching it from. God bless and enjoy the rest of your